Ever since its inception, hip-hop has had a lot of comic book-inspired bars and personas. Now, the lines have been comparisons to characters or things that they've done in between the panels of their own issues. The personas, on the other hand, have only had a few people cross into that realm and successfully take it on. Czarface, MF Doom, and in certain cases, Ghostface Killer with his Tony Stark persona. Now, with Eddy Baker taking on his V persona for this project, Vigilante. I really wasn't expecting it to be as in-depth as it really was. Eddy wanted to take the listener on a journey of what this character's done. No background, nothing. Just, here we are. Scene enters from the inside of this apartment complex to this guy. We don't know what's going to happen. All we know is that we just hear something muffled in the distance. And as it gets closer, it begs the listener to go on. And the cinematic approach in hip-hop has definitely won again. It's something that I've mentioned on the channel before, and I continue to push forward, damn it. I continue to push forward with it because we need it. We need a cinematic approach to albums because it's just keeping everyone interested. It's a different approach than just, hey, here's my album with songs on it. Yeah, you can do that. But every once in a while, try and spice it up. Try and do something different. Try and create a world around what you have. Try and create something more than just the lyrics. Yes, your bars may be some of the slickest to ever touch the planet, but can you create a story? Can you create a world? Can you make a movie? That's what Eddy Baker did with this project. Now, this is my first Eddy Baker project, and I wasn't expecting it to be as in-depth as I mentioned before, or as interesting as it was, because I'd listened to some of his features in the past and they didn't really set a good foundation for me. Now that's mainly because when I started listening to Bones back in 2016, I was slowly exposed to everybody else that was involved in Seshollowaterboyz. It was very interesting to go into Xavier Wolf. It was even more interesting to go into Chris Travis. But the thing where I lost touch was Eddy. I don't know why. It was the approach to his verses and the monotone nature of his delivery that had me pushed so far back. If there was someone that was intense with their vocal delivery and how they emphasized their words, he wrote as hard as they approached their verse. He just wanted the listener to pay attention to what he was saying, not how he was saying it. And I think that's the thing I was missing. Now, with this project, it sounds a lot like Eddy was watching The Watchmen and decided to take on Rorschach. And then he also wanted to get inspired by Batman in the process. The ski mask is kind of cool, by the way, on the cover. The cover is interesting. It's almost like an indie comic that was made. Also, indie comic developers out there, try and reach out to this guy. Try and make something with this. And there's nobody that I know, but if there just so happens to be somebody, hey, what the hell? Now, this project starts off, like I said, with basically a skit of entering in the world of this album, knowing who V is, knowing that he's basically not doing his job anymore. He's not helping out. He's not doing things. Now, the creation of this persona helps me understand that it's almost like a Batman connection between how they do things and how the law gets things done. It's a lot like the Flashpoint paradox, Batman. He kills, Eddy Baker's character kills. So there's a connection with that. The big thing that I really enjoyed about the introduction to this is that V doesn't want to do anything anymore. He's done. And L is trying to get him to do one last run. We need this, just one last time. Please. And they get it. They start it. Now, the first song in this project is called Pakistan. And when I first heard it, I was like, wow, this beat is interesting. And after I started listening to what Eddy was saying on the track, it laid the foundation for the project and cemented it perfectly. He made his character. And then he rolled with it 110%. It's amazing. And if these lines are inspired by real life events, okay. You know, if there are things that he's experienced in his life that are related to, you know, drug sales and things like that, he makes it interesting with this approach, almost as if he's done something like that. But for all intents and purposes, I will take it as a cinematic approach like I have been. The song after this is called Play. And the people that have produced on this record, I just want to say this as a whole, the people that have produced for this record have done such an amazing job trying to nail the dark, central nature of what Eddy was trying to approach with this record. It was just so meticulous. And Eddy even said himself on Twitter that this is his best project yet. With no background, and this being the one that I hear, I have to agree. But still got to go back and listen to other ones because a lot of people really enjoy his music and the things that he has to say. He makes good music, and I feel kind of bad for not getting into it earlier. Nevertheless, third song on here is called Man on a Mission. That is my favorite song on here. That is my favorite song on here. Every song on here has its own individual punch and its amazement. The things that he says on here are so freaking outlandish, but they're so good. Massacre is after Man on a Mission, and it's another favorite of mine on the record. And his flow is very linear. He doesn't switch in between flows. He maintains the one flow, and mastery of doing that for a track is almost pretty difficult to do for a lot of people. Now, the cinematic approach keeps going as if it's Eddy talking about events in V's life, and then he's just making music for the events that are going on in the city itself. It just makes it better. A skit to break away from everything goes to Special Agent O'Connor. And L's talking about how everything's falling down on him. It's like, you shouldn't do things like this. You can't do things like this because it's all going to come down on me. And the line that had me laugh my ass off was when L said, "The streets is hot, bubs. The streets is hot." And yeah, I couldn't stop laughing when I heard that. I had to listen to it again because it was so damn funny. They did something so right with this. Now, quick cutaway from the review. On the outside of the music that they make, and L basically taking on everybody in Seshollowaterboyz as the management, to my knowledge, they have a YouTube show called L and Ed, and they do things, and it's just them doing shit. It's just a vlog series almost, to my knowledge. And it's really cool to see that these guys can be friends and business associates. And they always have their best interests at heart. That's the thing that makes the 5 people that are involved in Seshollowaterboyz, it makes the relationship so much stronger. All right, back to the review. One of the coolest songs on here is This Is Your Demise, and it's right before the end of the album, and I really enjoyed it because it's almost like the final act. It's music for the final act. If there was some way that they could have it playing in the background as the final skit was playing, that'd be pretty cool. But I think the way that they had it set up for the showdown skit was really cool. Bones is actually featured in the skit. He plays the vodka-covered salami-smelling motherfucker. They didn't even give him a name to my knowledge, which is kind of funny. But all in all, the foundation, the music, everything. This project sets a standard for cinematic hip-hop. We need to do something like this. Eddy, if you end up seeing this, please, make an entire movie for this thing. Make it like a 10-minute video. Because you did a little trailer for the album and it was amazing. But if you did more, it would solidify it. It would go down in history. You could, not that you want to, not that you need to, but it could be something that could be put on TV, you know, like Adult Swim or something. Not that you're all about marketing things. You're about marketing your talent, not about marketing everything for a scam or for the betterment of a company. You want to better yourself. You want to better your fans in the process. Now, for anybody that are fans of Seshollowaterboyz, they're going to be going on tour soon. And they're going to be hitting Baltimore. So I'm hoping that nothing comes in the way of going to that show because I would love to go. I would love to see these guys. I would love to let them know how much I enjoy their work and support them. Now, For anyone else that wants to listen to any of Eddy Baker's mixtapes or anything of the sort, I'll find a source that has pretty much everything that he's put out, and I'll put it in the description, and then I'll also lead up with everyone else that's involved in Seshollowaterboyz. I think that's all that I have for this review. So this is episode 40 of Claws, and I'm very happy to have reviewed this. Next week, I'm planning to do a review on the brand new Jarren Benton album, Yuck Fu. And for the people that don't know, Jarren has signed to Roc Nation. So this is a very interesting time for him. For the people that have been watching the videos, for the people that have been watching my music come up on the channel, and to the people that have just recently looked at or listened to the acapella that I put up called Bloody Hands, I want to thank you. Thank everybody. Regardless of who they are, regardless of how you found out about it, regardless of who you sent it to, thank you. You guys make this a very pleasurable experience. I didn't think I was going to be getting as much love as I did. And granted, it's poor amounts of numbers in comparison to a lot of other established YouTubers. But that's the thing. I'm just starting out. In time, I might do something more with this. But for now, I'll enjoy it for what it is. And every number that I see is a number that's in the bucket for me. And I enjoy that. You guys make this a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. 30 people's better than 5 people. 30 people's better than nobody. 5 people's better than nobody. Thank you to all my supporters. Thank you to all my subscribers. Thank you guys for watching the video. I hope you guys have a phenomenal weekend. Do whatever you can in order to keep yourself sane. Stay selfish. Peace.